And then election news. Twitter has suspended the personal account of Republican Senator Doug Mastriano. He's the one who organized the Pennsylvania election oversight hearing on Wednesday. Twitter says his account violated its rules. We haven't heard from the state senator yet on his take. Twitter also appears to have blocked prosecutor Sidney Powell's website, which has links to her recent court filings and even her donation page. If you try to share the link, you'll get a message saying this link has been identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially harmful. Republicans, of course, have criticized Twitter over its alleged censorship. Lawmakers now thinking about making changes to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. That shields tech companies from most liability for content. The block came after Powell filed a federal lawsuit alleging massive election fraud in Georgia. It cites multiple violations of the Constitution and Georgia state laws, as well as issues with the Dominion voting systems. Here's the details.
The civil action alleges a plot of illegally and fraudulently manipulating the vote count to make certain the election of Joe Biden as President of the United States. Attorney Sidney Powell filed a 104-page complaint in the U.S. District Court, Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division. It's against Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and other election officials. The suit claims to have incontrovertible evidence that at least 96,600 absentee ballots were requested and counted but were never recorded as being returned to county election boards by the voter, stating thus at a minimum 96,600 votes must be disregarded. According to the suit, fraud was also allegedly executed by many means. It states the most troubling, however, to be election manipulation by software created and run by domestic and foreign actors for that very purpose. The massive fraud begins with the election software and hardware from Dominion voting systems. The complaint cites a former electronic intelligence analyst and a former U.S. military intelligence expert. Both allege that the Dominion system and software were certainly compromised by rogue actors such as Iran and China, who say this took place during the 2020 election.
Powell also filed a lawsuit in Michigan Wednesday. That seeks to set aside the results of the state's election.
Attorney Sidney Powell's Michigan lawsuit repeats the claims of massive election fraud in the state of Michigan as in Georgia, and that it helped make Joe Biden's lead possible in the state. It claims that Michigan state election officials directed the misconduct. It cites eyewitness and expert testimony alleging there were enough ballots identified to overturn and reverse the election results. It also says the state's election was so riddled with fraud that the results can't be relied on. The suit claims that Dominion voting systems helped facilitate the fraud. In addition to Dominion computer fraud, the suit also claims there was traditional voting fraud, including harassment, intimidation, and even physical removal of Republican poll challengers. The lawsuit is filed against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and the Michigan Board of State Canvassers. Michigan certified its results on Monday, but Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis said the certification by state officials is only a procedural step. There are 2 pending lawsuits in Michigan.
Dominion Voting Systems issued another statement on Wednesday. It says the recent allegations made against the company are unfounded. It says its machines are designed and certified by the U.S. government to be closed and not rely on network connectivity. Powell's complaint cited a former electronic intelligence analyst who says that the Dominion software was accessed by agents acting on behalf of China and Iran to monitor and manipulate the election. And some neighborhoods in Milwaukee, Wisconsin reported unusually high election turnout. We break down some of the numbers for you here.
About 13,000 fewer people voted in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this election compared to 2016. But in several neighborhoods, the number of ballots cast increased dramatically. Based on demographic data from 2010, which is the most recent available, in City Ward 235, over 105% of the eligible voting population cast ballots. It recorded 1,768 votes for Biden and 339 for Trump, but only 1,680 people are eligible to vote there. There are over 2,000 registered voters there, but that doesn't necessarily reflect how many people actually live there. Oftentimes, people don't cancel their registrations when they move. The county spokesman said voter turnout could exceed 100% if there are only a couple of households and a resident turns 18 before Election Day. But that wouldn't apply to this ward, which has a larger population. 4 other wards had a turnout of between 92 to 97%. Altogether, they represent nearly 8,000 votes. Almost 6,000 of them went to Biden. No city ward got above 90% in 2016, and 4 other wards reported massive vote increases. Up to 44% more people voted this year. The increases stand out because the city's overall vote count dropped by nearly 4% compared to 2016. President Trump is contesting the results in Wisconsin, which show Joe Biden ahead by about 20,000 votes. The state's certification deadline is next Tuesday.